Welcome to another edition of Parenting Matters with McCracken. We've been talking about how to talk so your kids will listen and listen so your kids will talk, and how to talk so your teens will listen and listen so your teens will talk. And today we're going to finish up with the section on the teens, and we're going to take a look again at some of the things that we've learned from Faber and Maslish, who wrote the book, How to Talk So Teens Will Listen and Listen So Teens Will Talk. And the link to that should be under this video so that you can get it on your own. But one of the things, instead of dismissing feelings, as we are often quick to do as parents, for example, in the comic that they put in the middle of the chapter to illustrate this principle, it's very common for a parent to say something like, when they see their child, their teen, crying, "Abby, why are you crying?" And the teen says, "I don't want to talk about it." And the mom says, "If you talk about it, you'll feel better." And the teen says, "Scott dumped me." And the mom says, "He what? Well, good riddance. I never liked him." And the teen says, "I did." And the mom says, "Honey, forget about him. You'll have plenty of other boyfriends." She said, and the teen says, "That's what you think." Now, the mom was trying. She was trying to be helpful, but she was really dismissing the feelings instead of being empathetic. She was dismissing the feelings and instead of trying to be understanding. So instead of dismissing the feelings, if we're going to talk so our teens will listen and listen so our teens will talk, let's identify the thoughts and feelings. So let's take the same scenario with a different approach. The mom walks into the room and sees the daughter crying on the bed. "Abby, something is making you unhappy." The teen says, "Scott dumped me." This time the mom says, "No wonder you're so upset." And the teen says, "I should have seen it coming. He was always flirting with other girls." The mom says, "That can hurt." And the teen says, "It did, but I kept telling myself I was the one that he really liked." And the mom says, "You wanted so much to believe it." And the daughter says, "Yeah, but it wasn't true. Anyway, he's not the kind of person I want for a boyfriend." Now, again, as I've told you before, and I'm telling you again, this isn't magic. And we all know that an illustration in a book can seem so neat and wrapped up with a bow and everything working almost magically. The truth of the matter is, though, even as I was reading this comic, and the first section, which is what we parents normally default to, I didn't feel anything. But as I started to even read the second part where the mom was identifying thoughts and feelings, there was something in my own heart that was touched by that. And I realized there's such a power in identifying thoughts and feelings. And again, this is for kids, this is for teens, this is for adult relationships. There's a power in empathic or empathetic listening that brings about a connection instead of building a wall. So if we want to talk so our teens will listen and listen so our teens will talk, instead of dismissing feelings, we need to identify the thoughts and feelings without judgment, just saying, "This is how you're feeling," and letting them know that you understand. Maybe you don't agree with it, but you understand how they're feeling. So let's do a quick review of what we've learned in the past several weeks about helping our teens deal with their feelings. So here's an example. A teen comes in and says, "Oh no, what'll I do? I told the Gordons that I'd babysit for them Saturday, and now Lisa called and invited me to her sleepover." So the parent usually says, well, what you should do is, or what you're not going to do is. But instead of dismissing your teen's feelings and giving advice, here are the 4 things that we've talked about in recent weeks. Number 1, identify their thoughts and feelings. It sounds as if you're pulled in 2 directions. You want to go to Lisa's, but you don't want to disappoint the Gordons. Number 2, acknowledge the feelings with a word or a sound. Ah. Number 3, give in fantasy what you can't give in reality. Wouldn't it be great if you could clone yourself? One of you could babysit and the other of you could go to the sleepover. And number 4, accept feelings as you redirect behavior. I hear how much you want to go to Lisa's. The problem is you gave the Gordons your word. They're counting on you. Now, there's not a magical order to this. Sometimes you'll use one of these and not the other. Sometimes you might use all of them together or just some of them. But the point that I want to emphasize as we finish up this section is this isn't about a method or a technique. If it's truncated from character, if it's separated from really caring about your teen, they're going to be able to read right through that. This is connected to learning how to really care about how your teen is feeling. So, how to talk so your teens will listen, and listen so your teens will talk. And again, the link to that is underneath the video. We hope that you'll get your own copy of the book and read the detailed stories and illustrations and greater depth of explanation of these principles.